Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 22nd Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Taylor, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So when I call you on to lead it, you got to lead it, Jane. Okay, it's all right. All right, next will be the roll call of members. Madam Clerk, we call the roll.
Sure. Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Jane Taylor.
Here.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, next will be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Any edits or changes to the minutes? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those there say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Now move on to department head reports. First up is Police Department, Chief Warmoth, excuse me.
Greetings, everyone. During the period between 10/11 and today's date of 10/22, the Lebanon Police Department responded to 657 calls for service. A total of 17 people were arrested for the following crimes: wanted on a warrant 3, intimidation with a deadly weapon 3, operating a vehicle while intoxicated 3, battery 2, possession of marijuana 1, possession of a controlled substance 1, domestic battery 1, disorderly conduct 1, possession of alcohol by a minor 1, driving while suspended 1. We issued 5 handgun carry permits through our office. On October 12th, LPD participated along with the Fire Department, Sheriff's Department, and Whitestown Police in an honor guard for the Webo Lebanon football game. And LPD has completed the first 2 steps in the hiring process. Applicants have completed the physical agility testing and the written aptitude test. From the original 20 applications turned in, we are now down to 11. We'll have 4 openings by January 1st. Because of this, we have started another application process and are again handing out the pre-applications for employment. Nationwide, the numbers are down for citizens looking to become police officers. We're trying to think outside the box, trying to recruit those people. So here, probably in the next month, you're going to see some recruiting posters pop up, just like the military did for Lebanon Police. Or you're going to see them pop up all over central Indiana if we can help it. In fact, Indianapolis was visited by a team from Portland, Oregon. They were coming here recruiting for officers out there. They've sent their recruiters nationwide now. Like I said, I don't intend on traveling that far with our posters, but I will get them up and around the county. If anyone is interested in picking up a pre-application, please come by the Lebanon Police Station or call 765-482-8836 and we will get you a pre-app. And I'm always available to talk if they would like to know more about it. On October 13th, LPD hosted the Zionsville Police Department Citizens Academy on our shooting range, and I've had the opportunity to sit down in some of the classes and talk with some of the participants. I think this is a great idea, so watch our Facebook page. We're going to start the very first LPD Citizens Academy sometime early next year. We're looking at possibly a 6 to 8 week course, 1 day out of the week, and this will expose some of the citizens of Lebanon to crime scene investigations, firearms, basically everything that we do as police officers. We're going to have 2-hour classes each night, and we're going to probably total around 20 people. But the county and Zionsville had tremendous success with this, so we're looking forward to this project. And finally, we encourage families to come downtown for the annual Mischief on Meridian this Saturday evening. LPD will be present handing out candy and ensuring everyone's safety. We'd also like to remind everyone that next Wednesday is Halloween. There will be children everywhere, so please drive with due regard and be careful. We encourage families. This is a great family activity. Go out together. Please carry a flashlight. Dress your children in bright, reflective costumes. Make sure you check their candy. Check it well. And trick-or-treating, I believe, begins at 6 p.m. and goes to 9 p.m. And that is all we have tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. Next up will be Parks Department. The Fire Department had a bit of a personal emergency tonight, so they will not be able to present. They'll give a full update at our next meeting. So Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. We're in the final week of preparation for the Fright Forest. That starts this Thursday at 7:20 at Abner Longley Park. A lot of hard work's gone into it. The volunteers are down there as we speak. Worked quite a few of the maintenance, and the volunteers worked Thursday or this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Of course, we come in this morning after all the wins that we had Saturday and get to pick up the parks. Needless to say, there's a lot. Didn't lose any trees this year. In a normal past, had we not taken down so many trees before, we'd have lost a lot of trees. So we're very thankful nobody got hurt, but there was quite a bit of cleanup. We'll be doing that for the next couple of days too. That'll keep us busy. There again, Chief Wormuth spoke about Mischief on Meridian this coming Saturday. There also will be a hayride that is provided by Mischief at Meridian to Fright Forest. We have Fright Free, where the kids can go through, and the scary people take their masks off in the trail. So that'll be nice to have that going on. That'll be Saturday. Currently working on several projects, Conservation Club. You'll see quite a bit of activity going on down there. We got the water line in for the dog park that's coming up very soon. Going to be seeing fence coming in here probably in the next couple of weeks also. They're again moving along on the splash pad. I'll be speaking a little bit later about bid. And Lebanon youth football's pretty well wrapped up their season with the Super Bowl. Now they're doing travel league. They played Tri-West this last Saturday, so they're doing all the little travel, going around to all our Sagamore Conference foes. Hopefully we'll smack them. There again, Lebanon Youth Football League is also hosting an adult flag football on November 10th. That's pretty much the participants will be board members, coaches, parents, or siblings of Lebanon Youth Football League, kind of seeing how it'll work and seeing how much response they get, and then we'll see if we can open it up to the public next year. So hopefully it'll be nice. It's a nice little fundraiser for them. And now the kids can sit on the sideline and yell at the parents, so that'll be good. Anyway, that's all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, no engineering report as well this week, so next up will be planning.
Good evening, board. Planning report's a little bit shorter this week too. Half of our staff, actually probably 3/4 of our staff, is on fall break this week as well, so I don't have all the information I normally do. Planning department operations can continue to be busy. We're very busy with building inspections. Permits are down a little bit the last couple of weeks, but I don't see a slowdown. We just got two big industrial buildings in the business park that just submitted their plans recently, so we're still seeing pretty good activity. There could be as many as 3 or 4 buildings, almost 5 buildings under construction in the business park next year. So I do expect to see a very busy year next year once we get through the winter seasons. So we're definitely still seeing some of that stuff come in that's going to point to a very busy season in 2019. I don't have updates on code enforcement, but I know we just recently did a sign blitz of the city right at the end of last week. Picked up a number of different signs that were located within the city's right-of-way, placed in the right-of-way. So I think we picked up something like 80 signs. If anybody's sign was taken, they are still available for you to pick back up. We just want to make sure that you place them where they can be placed within private property. So. As far as special projects, comprehensive plan still is our big project that we're working on. The steering committee met this last week. We reviewed some feedback that we received from our online surveys, some interesting information we found out from those surveys, and those continue to take place once a week. We also looked at the goals and objectives for the housing and neighborhoods and downtown sections of the plan, so we're looking at those goals and objectives, making sure that those are appropriate. And then we're also starting to prioritize those goals to figure out what's most important. In addition, one thing we did that was a little bit unique, we looked at an overall map of the community, and we're working to identify quote-unquote neighborhoods, large areas of the community that identify together, and we're looking to try to find ways to help these groups organize so they can have a better voice with City Hall and with other agencies, et cetera. And then also create a long-term identity for those groups. That's something we'll continue to work on and figure out how that fits in within the overall comprehensive plan. The committee will meet again in mid-November, so we're really starting to get in the the time that's where it's really important to meet on a regular basis, where we're starting to finalize some of the goals and objectives, really start to develop that plan. So that's going to happen over the next couple of months. And then the consultant's also working on time to sit down with the council. Hopefully that could happen in the next week or so, just to really just start get some feedback from our elected officials as well. So that is all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions from the board? I will say the neighborhood exercise was interesting to try to, not just like a home building neighborhood, but like an actual larger footprint was kind of how do you divide up the city and go from there. It's kind of interesting experience. So any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up will be Street and Stormwater Department. Dave Duell.
Hello. Let's see, we had 33 additional calls since our last meeting. 21 of those were for brush, which after Saturday, I'm sure we'll have 100 more, but
Yeah.
3 of those calls were for dead animals, 1 for a bicycle, and 8 of those calls were for recycling setup, which we set that up so we get quite a few of those. We've been mowing easements. We're about wrapped up on that, though. I'm sure we'll start spreading that out a little further now. Been working on picking up limbs with the chipper truck, like usual, but it's pretty bad now. We continue to have our street sweeper out. Probably have it out a few more times. It starts getting cold. We'll have to drain it and put it up so don't freeze up on us, tear anything up. We're about wrapped up on our street signs for the season. We still got some. We're trying to get the rest of them put out until next year. And we have repaired, or as far as our storm drains, we repaired 3 catch basins. We're also kind of slowed down on that because we're tied in with this ADA thing. We're having to change some of our catch basins because they're in the middle of our ramps. We're having to put flat drains instead of the curb back. So that's just working hand in hand with them. Let's see, we had the vac machine out. I think we've cleaned probably 4 structures with that since our last meeting. So we're trying to keep that busy as well. We keep cleaning the debris off. It's going to pick up now with leaves falling. Usually does. We're doing our inspections still. Those should slow down a little, but not too bad in the winter. We did send the guys Thursday and Friday to an IPEP safety seminar in Noblesville. They enjoyed that. That went good. Got to split the guys up and let them go. Free lunch and stuff like that, so you can't beat that. And it's very informative, too. They said they liked it, so I asked them about it. So, and we did start to set up our big trucks with plows since it kind of got cold on us. We didn't want to get caught not being ready, just in case. We don't set up the ton trucks yet because we use those for the leaf machines, but at least got 5 of them ready. If we had to, we could make it work. Let's see, we also are getting our leaf vacs ready as well. We thought we'd be already in leaf season now, but they're just not wanting to change yet, so we'll have to, when they change, we'll be ready. And I wanted to give you an update. Half the roads have been paved, so probably should have the rest of the half done actually by the time we have our next meeting. They gave me a milling schedule. Grady Brothers is the only one left. And I meant to go by today and see if they've done the alley. I don't know if they've done your alleys yet or not.
Not yet, no.
So we'll have to get a hold of Bumgardner and get that going. We don't want to leave that through the winter. Let's see, we're pretty busy Saturday night. I think we had 3 calls for big trees being down in the road, but Steve Malott did a great job. He was our on-call guy, and I helped him out. And I think 11:30 was our last call out, but we got him taken care of. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Any questions from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Your question, John? No. Oh, you raised your hand, okay. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, all right.
Also, thanks to everybody for getting our new trucks did come in, and couldn't have came in any sooner. We're ready.
Good, glad to hear
We're
that.
struggling with some other ones, so we look good now going around town.
Well, and just get with Mr. Stoner, we'll get those surplus
Yeah,
for
we
you guys
already
too.
have. Yeah,
Okay,
we already
good.
take care of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dave. All right, next up, Communications, Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Wanted to pass along a couple of updates. First, has been talked about a couple of different times by a couple of different people, Mischief on Meridian is coming up on Saturday, October 27th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. There was some concern on social media today, and with decorative pavers that are just now going in on Meridian Street, We are optimistic that that road will be complete and be functioning for Mischief, but we've also kind of laid out a couple of Plan B scenarios, and so once we know more a little bit later on in the week, we'll pass along that information, but the public should know that the Mischief on Meridian will happen. We expect several thousand people downtown, and that is just fine. Along Main Street, we'll have a rather large stage set up with a zombie-dressed band. That band's name is That's What She Said. If you're familiar with The Office, and some of us played trivia over at the Revel Room, as Brett's behind me here, can attest. That band will be playing right along Main Street. We have a record 29 Trunk or Treat participants. And so those are members of the public, different churches, social groups, private business as well, who are willing to give out candy, and lots of it, to a lot of great kids and be dressed up as well. We're partnering with Radio Mom to help get the word out. The library also has their offering. As you may know, they're renovating the child's area. The basement of the library looks phenomenal, and it'll be all decked out and ready for Halloween for those trick-or-treaters. Also, as John mentioned, the hayride taking place, going to take folks down to Fright Forest and back. There'll also be some giveaways from the Heart of Lebanon group, and the Embrace the Orange theme fits right with the orange and black as been with that marketing campaign. So like I said, Mischief on Meridian will happen. Plan B if needed. We're hoping that Meridian Street will be open and available for Mischief on Meridian coming up on Saturday. Also, our newsletter is coming up on November 1st. You should have a little bit of time to get information to info@lebanon.in.gov. We add that to our newsletter at this point. My final update is about our website. Very much a frustrating topic for those of us in this building and beyond. No doubt you trying to access our website. It is currently still down, and we're working with our web developer, DevLab, to remake the site using a different carrier. And so once that site is recreated, we'll switch things over. I'm very frustrated with the folks at iPage. It's been, as you may know, it's been several weeks since our website has been up and functioning, and for a municipality that is unacceptable. And so we'll look to switch teams, if you will, and so we're recreating kind of how that's laid out. And so working with several different entities to make that happen as quickly as possible. But we're as frustrated as the public who's trying to access the site, or different offerings that we like to have on there and keep our public proud and our visitors able to access information. So we'll look to have lebanon.in.gov on the World Wide Web back ASAP. A lot of acronyms there. So my apologies for that delay, but we'll get it taken care of as soon as we can.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Any questions from the board? Any?
5K Rotary.
Yeah, 5K, yeah. The Lebanon Rotary Club is also doing the Trick or Trot to kind of kick things off for Mischief. So that'll happen around 4 o'clock. Mischief on Meridian is at 5. They'll do the pumpkin chase as well. A lot of fun. Thanks, John.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. All right, that concludes department head reports. We'll move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Anything from the board? Oh. Okay, we'll move on to new business. This was a late addition I had here first thing. This is actually a utility reimbursement agreement from Lebanon Utilities and BF&S. Trace, you want to come forward and talk about this? Unfortunately, Kevin isn't here to explain, but I know Trace is going to do the best to explain what's going on with this one.
Thank you very much. I thought that was going to be on the council, and I'm sorry.
No, Board of Works. Yep.
Yep. Sorry about that. Yep. What we have is we're asking for reimbursement for the water portion of the project where we need to move our water line during that project. It's a federal fund project, which then means that 80% of that of this amount, which is an estimated amount, would be refunded by federal funds. That's what we're asking for. I have in front of me the reimbursement agreement that we've looked at and we've signed. It's $521,000, $394.75, and 80% of that, which is about $460,000, would be reimbursed.
And this is through the Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2 project, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So this would be an amendment to the contract. Is that what we're discussing then?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
It's an estimate only
Okay.
at this point. When the bids actually come in, that number will change some, but we don't have those bids in yet.
Okay. So Dick, you probably were involved with this one with the stormwater side still. Do we need to do I mean, is there an additional fund request, or is it just a change to the original contract?
This is just a reimbursement
It's just a reimbursement agreement, right?
The reimbursement agreement?
Yeah, when
Okay.
they reimburse us, they're asking for their share to pay for
Okay.
the water. That's what
Okay.
it is.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct, yep.
Yeah,
Okay. So you would agree this is Board of Works then, not council? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Any questions from, and what was the reason behind this, why we're doing this, just to?
Oh, because the road has to be lowered, we now won't have enough surface, ground over the water line, and so we have to move the water. And so therefore, by having to move the water, we're asking to be reimbursed for moving the water.
Gotcha, okay. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would entertain a motion to approve the utility reimbursement agreement and allow myself to sign on behalf of the board.
I'll make a motion that we approve the utility reimbursement agreement with the mayor's signature.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Before we vote, Tanya, did you have something you want to say?
Where are we paying this from? Are we paying them?
I think it's from it's a reimbursement, so it's not actual funds.
Okay.
That's correct. It's, we're getting federal funds, the city's getting federal funds for it, and we're asking for our portion to be reimbursed. That's all we're asking for.
I think it's coming from the contract from the phase 2.
Yes.
So it's not new monies.
No, it's not new money.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Okay.
Okay,
Are you okay with that?
maybe.
Do you want to
If
hold?
it's no, it's fine to go ahead and pass it. If it's a reimbursement, I'm just wondering where we put it. Anyway, we'll just talk about it.
Okay, that'll
we'll
work.
figure
Thanks.
it out. Fine. Yeah,
Should we make a motion pending any
No, I don't think so.
appropriation from
It's
council?
that's just up to Tanya where they put that money back from the state.
That's what I was
It'll
just
come
wondering.
back to the state, to the city, and what the utility's asking for is their share to pay for the water relocation.
Right, but if the money goes back into the general fund like everything does, then we won't have the money in a line to pay them.
Right, you're right.
So that's why I'm asking how it's,
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
appreciate that.
but.
That won't come back to the end though,
but,
right? So maybe we could,
Right, we either, I mean, if it works, if that's the way we're doing it, then we'll possibly have to do an additional, because we don't have that much money.
right.
Fine, but that's something we can work out. I mean.
Yeah, I can work
the-
that out, that's, yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't know if it was something
Yeah.
we were paying out of a line. So anyway, we're good. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that reimbursement agreement has been approved. Thank you, Trace.
Thank you very much. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Okay, next up is People's Revel Room. We have Brett Vanderplatz with us tonight. He is asking for a request for authorization for outdoor dining and alcohol service on a public right-of-way. This is in regards to our ordinance we passed last year, where it does require approval from Board of Works to serve alcohol on a public right-of-way. So I'll turn it over to Brett to introduce what he wants to do.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Brett Vanderplatz, and I am one of the owners of People's Brewing Company and a local owner of the building that we're in also. So I've created this drawing. I'm not sure if I need to push something to make
Yep, there we go.
it to come online.
You move it up a little bit. You're good, actually. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
See. All right, I'll slide it up as it goes. It's a little long for the sheet. I've just put together a basic drawing of Matt's request to be able to identify the space that we're looking to use. It's the newly developed alley space just to the west of our property. I've highlighted the sidewalk and road for reference. The gray area I have labeled down here would be the outdoor beer garden space. It will be family friendly and pet friendly. By requirements of excise, we will have it enclosed and for access from the inside of the building to come out to it. We have received a verbal temporary until we get our throughway in. That excise would allow us through the front door, which becomes this space up here, which I kind of indicated somewhere around 6 to 7 feet wide. They come out onto the sidewalk space and then further extend down into the alley. I've highlighted that understanding that there's a walking path that would be wanted so people can access from those back parking lots to the city square, and somewhere, it's about a total of 22 square feet, and I just indicated, rough estimates based on what you guys would like to see, somewhere around 7 feet to keep that walkway open and easily accessible. Again, it would be a family-friendly space, pet-friendly, and, we hope you approve because we really feel like downtown Lebanon could use some nice outdoor seating, and with the addition of the walking path and biking path, we think it would be a great fit. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. This was part of the goal when we passed that ordinance to allow for outdoor dining, and part of the concept of when we were designing the downtowns, we want to have our downtown restaurants have that ability to use kind of a outdoor area and let people spend time in our downtown. So, any questions for Brett from the board?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. How are you going to fence that off? Keep it so people don't come in off the alley.
Well, it will be very similar to you see it at many other restaurants and bars. We have been told that it needs to be non-permanent, obviously because of the work that has gone into the pavers and such. We won't be making any holes in the pavers. It will be, I'm not going to say that you wouldn't be able to jump into it and jump the fence, but we won't have direct alcohol service out there. All the alcohol service will come from the inside out. We will not be putting any tap lines or actual alcohol out there where it can be grabbed. And part of that request was because we know that we have to have easement for utilities and such to get back into that space as necessary.
Ben, is that something they'll have to apply through you to get a permit for fencing down through there?
I don't think they need a fencing permit if it's not a permanent fence.
Yeah, if it's not a permanent fence, it wouldn't require anything from our office.
Part of our request was to have a certain length of lease for this. We will be investing several $1,000s for the equipment, for the furniture, and as we put our plan is to put about a 10-foot garage door in the side of our building so we can open that up from the inside to allow easy access in and out.
Right.
How long do you want the agreement to be for?
We would appreciate, when we kind of amortize our costs over it, we would appreciate 7 years.
Okay. From my understanding, I think once we grant it, it's granted. So I don't even know if we need to do a time for you, but if you would feel more comfortable, I think we can do that.
You'd have to come back in 7 years.
No, I just threw that out there because I didn't know any better.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. I think once we grant it to you, you're granted. So I think you're good to go. So
that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for Brett from the board?
No.
Any other questions or concerns from the public?
I might just ask if there's I would ask the board what further steps I need to take, paperwork wise, and I can follow up with Matt.
As soon as we vote, you're good, you're good.
Go.
So, obviously.
Are you going to be doing improvements on the side of your building there other than putting in a door?
We will because we have to. We have quite a bit of tuck and mortaring work to do on the side there. And we do have a local artist who's interested in painting a mural on the side of it. So
Okay.
That would be the garage door would be through the HPC though, so they will still have to go through that process on it, but yeah. Okay, at this time, I would look for a approval or to approve the authorization for outdoor dining and alcohol service on a public right-of-way for People's Revel Room. Do I have that motion?
So move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. That's going to look great, and I'm, that authorization has been approved, so I think it's going to be a great amenity, and looking forward to spending some time out there. So
That's great. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the Parks Department. Request for authorization to seek public bids for the construction of a splash pad.
Yes, good evening. Been working quite a bit. Been working with the utilities. Want to thank General Manager Trace Bowles. Also, there's a pump house down at Abner Longley that we're putting this splash pad. He's let us use that. That saves the city about $150,000 on using that facility to recycle the water. So what I'm requesting tonight is authorization to seek public bids for the construction of a splash pad at Abner Longley Park.
Okay. So we've been in the design phase, so
Yes.
we're kind of separating out the proposals. This will be the actual physical bids for the construction.
Construction,
But not,
yes.
but not so the equipment. This will be for like all the plumbing, all the concrete work, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
Any diagrams or anything of the splash pad? What do you? Anything that shows what it might look like?
I
mean, I don't.
I
doesn't have to
I
be
have them in my
exact.
office. I have them in my office. Can I show them to you later, Dick? Is that all right?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So I'm just curious.
Well, we just got them on Friday, I believe, right?
Yeah, we've been working at this probably a couple months with the park board president, Lori Gross, involved, and also Diane Scott, and the park board approval also to go forward with this project. So it's been in the works. They've had their hands in on it, on the design of it, and there again, this is basically everything's put together, ready to go to bid, and I wanted your approval to go forward with that.
Now, it's going in Southside, right?
Yes, it's going in
Correct.
Abner Longley, yeah.
And where's it going in there? Down by the pumping station?
Yes, by the pump station, and that well house is empty.
Yeah.
And as I said, Mr. Bowles allowed us to use that pump house, which there isn't currently anything in there. We're going to protect a instrument that he has in there, I think an electronic box that we're going to close in for him. That way there's no chance of any destruction there, but it saved us $150,000 on the project, and it's quite expensive, but hopefully it isn't that bad. Hopefully the bidders, construction guys are hungry, and it'll be, oh, here we go. Joe's got one. Here's just kind of a, I don't know how that's going to show up. Oh, that glare. Want to get rid of the glare? How's that?
I think the other page, that's kind of entry page. The other pages kind of show you the overview of it, John.
Good. Yeah.
Different fixtures. Dick, you're around quite a bit, so you see a lot of communities have these amenities already. I think it's a great asset, and also at that side of the park there.
The last one has the overhead view too, if you want to show that one, John.
Excuse me?
Oh, you didn't got the, all right, never mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So we can take a look at this, but that's it doesn't show the landscaping that's being proposed around it, but that's the fixtures and what it'll look like from that plane, so.
And we've started on one scale, and this way we can eventually grow if we need to grow, see how popular it is, and if we need to grow, so we can grow in phases. So this will be the first phase, basically, see how it is, how popular it is. If we need to grow, we are set up to attach. So we always plan on expanding as our city grows.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for John?
Do you have an estimate, John? How much is that going to cost?
We've already looked at the purchasing for the equipment for all the fixtures that we have. That's one set that we're going to bid. We really don't until we put this out, and I hate to put anything out there in case the contractors are listening and, okay, that's their goal. So, yeah, we really don't.
$100,000, right?
As little as possible.
$10, yeah,
Yeah, right,
$10, yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean to be, evasive, but I am.
Do you have a timeline on what the plan is? I know we talked about this briefly.
Yeah, we're hopefully by spring of next year. It all depends on the contractors now getting this bid out. That'll be a 4 or 6 week process. And heck, if we have a mild winter, who knows? We could have it ready by February, but hopefully March, April at the very latest is our plan to open up, cut the ribbon on it.
Very good. Okay. Any other public comment, questions for John? Okay. At this time, I would entertain a motion to authorize the Parks Department to seek public bids for the construction of a splash pad.
I would move to approve the authorization for the Park Department to seek public bids for the construction of the water pipe, or what do we call it, splash pad for.
Splash pad, there you go.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. That you are now authorized to seek bids for that, John.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. And finally here, I have 2 agreements with us, with me tonight, and I can share with you. They're fairly straightforward. These are leaf pickup agreements between the town of Ulen and City of Lebanon, and then also the Homeowners Association of Elmwood and the city. Currently, these obviously communities are not part of the city, so with fall coming, we wanted to make sure we had a contract with them for leaf pickup. We have provided leaf pickup services to them in the past, however, there's not a formalized contract. We felt that we needed to do that. The terms of it are the same as they were before, and this is actually just a 6-year. We wanted to make sure since we're getting ready to be in leaf season right now, and the leaves were about ready to fall off the trees, we wanted kind of a short-term agreement first. So both of these agreements are only for 6 months, which would get us through the spring. The first one is with Ulen, and that's for a fee of $624 per collection. So if we make 3 collections, $624 times 3. And then the Elmwood agreement is a agreement for a flat fee of $750 for the season. And the reason we did this is if we're picking up Ulen, we'll go pick up Elmwood as well too. So in that we plan to do that on the same day they have their trash pickup, which is Wednesdays. So we'll if we're in Ulen more times, then we just pick up with Elmwood. Elmwood's only about 20 homes, so it's a little bit less of a burden on the city. But so that's why I did the flat fee versus the per collection charge. In the past, we've done about 3 collections in Ulen every year, so that kind of gives you a rough estimate of how many times we'd be doing this. This has been approved by Ulen and also by Elmwood. They were separate agreements, but they've both been approved by their governing boards. Any questions from the board from that?
You need a motion separate for each one of these?
That'd probably be the cleanest, yeah, if we did that. So.
Well, I would move that we approve the contract for leaf pickup for Ulen.
We have a motion to approve the leaf pickup contract with Ulen. Is there a second? Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that agreement is approved, and would entertain a motion to approve the leaf pickup contract for Elmwood.
I make a motion, we approve the 6 months Elmwood pickup for $750 per season.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the contract with Elmwood. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, those agreements are approved. Thank you very much. And I believe, Dave, we've talked about that not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday will likely be their first pickup. So if you know any friends in Ulen Elmwood, tell them to get their leaves ready. So, okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Anything else from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims and we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we pay claims.
We have a motion to pay the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, claims are approved. And would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Tuesday, November 13th at 5:30. Thanks for watching.